cocktail called the Gold Baron that has, there's no gold schlager, none of that stuff. But you're going to get some bourbon, you're going to get some bitter, and that's what you're going to get right now.
Save 15% off everything at awesomedrinks.com. Coupon code CMC415.
Welcome to Common Man Cocktails. I'm your host, Derrick Schommer. Today we're going to be making the Golden Baron. This recipe is submitted by Thomas, wow, I don't know how to say his last name, but W-A-U-G-H. I would probably say wow. Or wah, or wah.
I'm going to just say Thomas.
Wah. Thomas and Death and Company.
Thomas W.
1.5 ounces of bourbon. Love me some bourbon! Just open this up. This is Bullet Bourbon, for those that don't know. I haven't had Bullet Bourbon, that's a big mouthful. Bullet Bourbon, well, here on the show. I've had Bullet Rye. I almost finished the whole bottle. 1/2 ounce of apple brandy. We got large Applejack. We've got 1/4 ounce of Grenadine. I've got Liber and Co. right here. Almost gone. Not yet. 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. And 2 dashes of Burlesque bitters. If you're wondering why I have like this strange face on constantly, because before the show I tried these because
we're not. It's normal.
It's normal. Burlesque bitters. I just want to like put some pasties on and dance around. So Burlesque bitters from Bittermints. I don't know why Curtis went through my whole list of bitters and picked the one Bittermints I didn't have. So this is an expensive week for me. This is different. I was going to look for something to sub it in. But it says it's going to menage a hibiscus, acai, and long pepper, sweet and spicy with a bit tart. Well, this is very different. It's tart and it's got lots of a bombardment of flavor. So I can only imagine that this is going to impact this cocktail in some way that if I was to sub it in with anything else, I don't have a clue what I would pick to go with that. So if you're a bitters person, tell me what would go with that that's not Bittermints. Now, let's make a freaking cocktail. I am going to mix everything up right there with our 1.5 ounces of bourbon. Let's do it up. 1.5 ounces. Take a little off the top. Ooh, woody. That'll make a nice whiskey sour. Add a little bit of apple to it. 1/2 ouncey ounce. Ounce. 1/4 ounce. This is like the week of the 1/4 ounce of everything. It's like these tiny little 1/4 ouncers. This should really be washed. It's a little sticky. So for those that are saying, what?
That bottle?
What about it?
What should be washed?
The bottle is all sticky down here. It looks like,
Just bug on.
well, so just don't worry about it.
It'll be gone before that.
This is real Grenadine, by the way, so if anybody's like, well, I'll just use my roses. Christ, don't do that. This has got, let's see what the ingredients are in here, if I can find them. Fresh pomegranate juice, cane sugar, gum arabic, orange blossom water, citric acid, and sorbic acid. So you've got your minor preservatives, still need to put it in the refrigerator, and pomegranate and sugar. That's how life is, dudes. It should be made with real product. 1/4 ounce. So really what you have is 1/2 ounce of sweet, because you're doing a little bit of Grenadine and a little bit of simple. So you're sweetening up the Grenadine a little bit more, which you're probably going to need because this has Burlesque, which by far the most useless dropper. No matter how much I put in here, it always gives me this much left.
And that's a huge dropper too.
I know! It's just so they can get to the end of it. I'm going to add a little bit more just for good measure because this dropper makes me angry. So 2 dashes of Burlesque bitters. Boom. And a dash on a dropper is a little bit more. Usually I would go with a half dropper.
Bottles.
Or a whole dropper. Yeah. I would have the most expensive listings of bitter bottles ever.
You'd have to write on them.
I'd have to write on them, and I'd have to write a large check to buy enough of them. Oh yeah, and then I'd never be able to find them in there. I'd have to be looking at the words. You know how hard it is for me to find things that have labels? Do ya?
I do.
Well, it would be even harder. Shake it up! Any questions while I'm here?
Do you breathe when you shake?
No. Why?
Okay. Because your face turns all red.
Yeah. I try, but
I want to try breathing.
That's why no, this is the deal. I know to shake for only 10 seconds because if I start to pass out, then I know I'm done shaking. That's my timer. My timer is lung capacity. My ice is stacking up. There we go. Boom. Boom. Ba-dum. Bum. Ba-bum. All right, here we go. Oh, kind of boring. This needs to go in a tiki glass.
Yeah, it's like peach. It's not really brown. Well, right now.
It's because it's all opaque from the. Yeah. I bet it's just gonna turn into a brown whiskey. This would be better. This would be okay, sexy-like, if it was in a coupe glass or Nick Nor or something like that. I can start to see it clarifying at the bottom, but it ain't gonna look much better. So that is the Gold Baron. Guess it's kind of gold. I don't know. Maybe you see black instead of gold or white. What's the color of that dress again? Is it gold and white?
Black and blue or gold and white.
So is this black and blue?
That's the question of the day. What color did you see?
No, that would be an awful question. It's the most boring answers ever. Oh, I guess the first question is...
Oh, here's one.
Why aren't you leaving comments? I need more comments. It's like people are getting lazy.
For cooking? Okay, here. What would be the one bitter you would use for cooking?
Bitter used for cooking. Some people, I would say, the biggest answer is going to be Angostura.
For cooking?
For cooking, yeah. A lot of people use Angostura for cooking. You can use Peychaud for cooking.
I don't know, but the cooking channel, well, your aunt has said that they're starting to use bitters now.
Yeah. I think bitters are growing in the craft cocktail again. And I think as part of that, there's other uses, and I think cooking is a good one because you're imparting those same type of flavors, but you're going to be able to do it in like a chicken. Or
what's your everyday cocktail?
Everyday cocktail. What's your everyday cocktail? If you had to have a cocktail order right now, if we were at one big YouTube bar, and that YouTube bar had everybody watching, and they're all like, "We're gonna leave a comment," what would you be ordering at that big YouTube bar? Assuming they have the biggest back bar ever and had all the product from all over the world all right there for you. This is like sci-fi, people. This is like replicators and stuff from Star Trek. What would you, but without the fake alcohol, what would you order? Would it be a Golden Baron? This is
Painkiller. Even though they couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, they could, right?
They could.
They just have to have Poose's room.
Yeah. This is like on the, I don't know. It feels like it's almost like it's going the direction of a bourbon sour, but it's more of a bourbon bitter. It's bitter. It's got a bitter finish, a little bit of front end sweetness, but the length of it's almost like that grapefruit finish where it just dries out and kind of stays with you. And it continues to stay dry. This is the downfall to this drink is it doesn't really pull me in for a second sip. Maybe if you're huge into bitters, not necessarily bitters like this, but I mean like bitters like Campari or something like that. If you like bitter cocktails, this is more of a bitter cocktail. And from my personal experiences, Burlesque is a heavy-duty bitter. Burlesque to me reminds me more from the bitter aspect, of Boker's bitters, which has, in-your-face cardamom bite, like just a lot of, like, quinine, like just all over, like, or bark, or whatever the name your, gentian, whatever your favorite bitter flavor, aloe, just that big bitter agent at the finish. Not as bitter as a Campari drink. It doesn't have like that. Doesn't have that citrus grapefruit bite like craziness, but it does definitely have a dry out bitter. So this is for me a one-time. I'll have this once at a bar. This, if I had to put this into a comparative side of say beer drinking, this would be my over hopped beer, where it will take me longer to finish because the hops slow me down. if you're maybe a finishing drink for the night where you're like, I'd like to have another cocktail to sip on recreationally, but I don't want like the drink we made yesterday with the horror at Dots, where if you had that as your last drink of the night where you're like, I just gotta take it easy, guys, I gotta be able to walk home, I'll just order that. No, you're gonna be killed. This drink, you feel like you can drink it and just take your time with it. You're not being urged on to finish it to order a second or a third or a fourth. This is a one drink drink.
Oh, an AMF is pretty good too. I wish you could have that one.
Huh. It's weird. It's got like particles and stuff floating around inside of it. There you go. Still not that bad. If anything, the bourbon keeps it honest. Makes you think, oh yeah, that's a bourbon drink right there. I think I'd still rather have a Sazerac though. We're done. Question asked. Cocktail made. Nothing else to do here. I don't have anybody to yell at. I don't have to rush anything. Oh, you can go to awesomedrinks.com. You can get yourself some Burlesque bitters. We actually do. I think we usually sell them in sets of 4. It seems like everybody's always buying them. Like probably bars are buying them to make cocktails. White old fashioned. That's your white old fashioned glass. Of course, we sell glassware, so you can get that too. We're done. Swipe right. We're teaching you how to drink. I'm really about to like
take that spoon away from him.
Watch that.